Okay, welcome everyone. Rod Moore here from the Freedom Network. You are on this special broadcast to learn more about how to break free from the rat race. It's something that I've been obsessed with for many years. When I was a younger man in my early 20s, I was handed a cassette tape by a man by the name of Bert Gulick. And on there, he talked about this idea of having both time and money freedom. And it quickly occurred to me that I didn't have either of those two. Working full-time in a job, which I didn't really like, taking an hour to get there in the morning and an hour to get home, and really feeling unfulfilled, getting paid just enough to keep me going, and I was doing just enough to stop from getting sacked, and I was struggling through the day. And so from the moment I heard that cassette tape where Bert Gulick talked about this idea of having residual recurring income because of the work he'd done in the past, I became quite obsessed with that and started exploring ways that I could create an ongoing residual income stream and break free from the rat race. So that's what I want to talk to you about here today. I want to talk to you about the three different ways that you can earn an income. And I'll talk to you about how the only true way to break free from the rat race in this day and age, and what you need to do to get to that point. Something that I've been able to achieve myself, and I've got some great information to share with you. So I'm just going to call up our whiteboard here. And what I want to talk to you about first is the three ways to earn an income. So let me just find a pen. Okay. Way number one. Okay. And this is the way that 90% of people in the Western world are currently earning their income. They trade time for money. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're earning a high income as a doctor or a lawyer. If you only get paid when you're present and you're putting your time in, then you are caught up in the rat race. You're just at a higher level than the guy who's sweeping the streets for a living, right? So this is where 90% of people are caught, trapped in this trading time for money. And this is all most people have ever known. They go to school. We were taught to get a good education, get a good job, and then work until retirement and put a little money aside for our retirement, which is all good and well. But if you know that there is a better way, if you know that you could be free, if you really set your mind to it and followed a blueprint and had a plan and worked diligently at that plan, then you quickly become dissatisfied with the idea of trading your time for money. And that's the place I found myself in. I guess it might have been different if I'd found a job that I really loved, but I didn't have that at that time. And so I became obsessed with how do we break free from this time for money trap? How do we escape the rat race, as it were? Now, fortunately, today, I believe it's the greatest time in the history of the world to be able to escape the rat race and build a transition out of time for money. So we'll talk about that. So this is where 80% to 90% of the Western world today, that's where they are, caught in this time for money trap. The second way to earn money is where your money earns money. Okay. So this is the money you have invested in real estate, shares, gold, and other forms of investment. Your money earns you money. Now, this is all good and well. If you had enough money invested right now, then you could probably afford to retire. But the question is, how much is enough money? So let's just talk about that briefly. How much money would you need to have invested in order for your money to earn you enough money? Okay. So the first question we have to ask is, what is our freedom number? This is something I always talk to all my coaching students about. What is that number that is going to set you free from the rat race so you can leave your time for money job? Now, the average income in the US is about $52,000. So let's say $5,000 a month, right? That would give you $60,000 per annum, slightly above the average income in the US. Let's say $5,000 a month is your freedom number, right? If you had $5,000 a month coming in residually through another source, then most people could afford to walk into their boss and say, sorry, boss, but you no longer qualify to be my employee, right? I'm sacking you as my boss. $5,000 a month for most people would do that, okay? So if we wanted to have our money earn us enough money, in other words, $5,000, how much money do you need to have invested in order to get $5,000 per month? Well, $5,000 a month is $60,000 per annum, right? 60K. So how much money do you need to have in investments to earn your 60K? Well, let's say you could get 10% return, okay, on your investments, 10%. That would mean you would need 600,000 invested. Okay, that investment could be in real estate, it could be in stocks. If it's in real estate, then obviously you have to deduct the debt that you have on that, but you need to have at least $600,000 invested at 10% would earn you $60,000 per annum, right? Now the question is, how close are you to having $600,000 invested right now? You know, how close are you? Do you have $100,000 invested? Do you have 200,000? How much? And I'm not talking about your retirement savings, your 401k or your superannuation, because you can't retire early on those. You have to wait to retirement age in most cases. So you need to have an additional investment plan where you need at least $600,000, right? If you're not close right now, look at the gap. Let's say you've got $100,000 in investments right now. That means you still need another $500,000 before you can be free. How close or how long will it take you to save $500,000? You know, I'm in my late 40s now. If I wanted to retire at, say, 65, that's 15 years away, say. Could I save $500,000 in 15 years? Maybe. But gee, it'd be tough. It'd be a struggle, right? If I was only relying on income stream number one. So this is basically what we need to do. You're working income stream number one. You're saving a percentage of that into income stream number two, and that is going to give you this $5,000 a month freedom income. But you're going to need to get to $600,000 at 10%. Now the problem is, right? The problem is right now the interest rates are at historical low levels. That might change, but right now you'd be lucky to get 5% on your money, which means you realistically need 1.2 million. I don't mean to shatter your hopes and dreams of saving your way to freedom, but you're probably not going to get there in most people's lifetimes unless you're on a super high income right now and you discipline yourself to live moderately or modestly. Most people aren't going to be able to save up to $1.2 million. Maybe with some, you know, trading of some real estate and getting lucky, buying low, selling high, you might get there, right, in a reasonable period of time. But for most people, this is just not a realistic plan to save enough money to invest to be able to give you a freedom level of income. It's just not going to be possible for most of us, right? So that's but that is a valid way. There are people who do earn their income from money they have invested. Now, the third way is to build what I call business, okay? Excuse my writing there. Business assets, okay? This is where you build a business system or a business asset one time, and it pays you recurring income over and over and over again. This is what I've done. I took my hobby. You can see the paintings on the wall at the back there, right? This one here, the beach scene, it's a painting that I did. The one there is by a famous Australian artist. But one of my passions is painting, right? So I took my passion for painting and I turned it into business assets. The way I did that was I recorded a series of video courses teaching people how to paint, teaching people my passion, right? So I recorded all of these little video courses. I turned something that I knew into a product, a digital product that I could then sell multiple times. And because I did that, I was able to break free from the rat race, because now these assets, these business assets now earn me that freedom level of income or above. In fact, it's above, but let's just put it down at, say, $5,000 a month. I built enough business assets to be able to earn me $5,000 or more a month, which meant that I could no longer afford to stay in a job. I was free from the rat race, right? And this is where I suggest you focus your income earning efforts on. Now, if you're stuck in a day job right now, then you need to stay stuck in there until you build up enough business assets. Don't quit your job, right? You build your business assets around the job that you have. That's what I was doing. At one stage there, before I became free, I was working 40 hours a week in my job, and I was working 40 hours a week building my business assets. It was tough. I'm not going to kid you. Now, you could go a bit slower than what I did. You could put 10 or 20 hours around your day job. But if you want to get there fast, put in another 40 hours into it. And what that means is being efficient with your time. It means You want to be, as productive as possible and follow a proven plan and get somebody who has already done it to show you how they did it, and then just follow the same steps that they did, right? So I use online courses, turning my passion, my hobby into digital products. You don't have to have a passion or a hobby to do that. You could go out and learn some skills in an area. Let's say it's in marketing, learn some skills around, say, how to set up a marketing funnel. And you could then turn that into courses and teachings and coaching programs and create business assets around whatever it is that you know. Maybe you've already got some level of expertise in an area or some skill in one area. You can turn that into products that you can sell to people and automate the sales process, and you can build a freedom level of income by doing that, right? So there's 3 ways of earning money. Time for money, your money makes you money, or you build business assets that pay you once they're built over and over and over again. So here's what happens with income stream number 3, right? If we look at a graph here, and this is time along this axis here, and this is income earned along that axis there, right? So what happens is over time, your income starts off at almost nothing, and then it slowly starts to go like this, and then it grows exponentially upwards, right? But the reverse is effort. So we put effort here, okay? That's an E for effort. How much effort are you putting in? You're putting in all the effort at the start, and you're getting paid little for it, right? And then that effort goes like that till you get to a point here where you become free. Freedom, right? That's what we're all about here at the Freedom Network, is showing you how to become free. So there's 3 different ways of earning an income. The way you want to focus your entire energy and thoughts and effort around, your mindset around, is building business assets that can earn you a residual income. Now, we live in the greatest time in the history of the world right now. We live in a day and age where you can build digital products with the right guidance, you get the right skills and the right guidance that you need, and those digital products can help you become free, right? You can set up an automated marketing and sales system so that even when you're sleeping, sales can be happening of your products. And again, that can be free. It can set you free, right? Best time in the history of the world. Hey, if you want to know how to do this, then get in touch and I'll be happy to help you out.